Hey, yo, what's the deal? Miss your boy Tag from Pro Wrestling Tag, you know what I mean? As of this recording, it is 2:43 p.m., June 24th, 2026. You know what I mean? This is the first video of the day. You know, I actually had to take care of some personal business early this morning. You know what I mean? So, like, the urge to make a video, it was not there strictly not because I didn't want to make a video, but because of the stuff that I had to, like, endure this morning. It was really fucking hectic. You know what I mean? But I was able to knock out whatever I need to knock out. Hold on real quick. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to get past somebody. A fucking mailman playing music. Come on, bro. Do your fucking job and deliver mail. You know what I mean? Do your motherfucking job, motherfucker. But yeah, like I said, you know, I couldn't do anything I honestly couldn't do anything this morning, but I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? And I want to bring up something that was very fucking interesting from Tommy Dreamer, right? Now, Tommy Dreamer is going through hell. He right now, he's in hell. You know what I mean? With the allegations, the accusations that he has, and now, with his creative and stuff, right? But it's kind of funny how all of a sudden, and I'm not defending Tommy Dreamer at all. I'm really not. Tommy Dreamer is a guy who, at one point he was very respected in this business, right? But it seemed like he also had skeletons in the closet, right? And like I said, there's a lot of accusations with Dreamer as we speak right now. A lot. But also now, when we're talking about his creative, right? Like like Tommy Dreamer is basically, like, some of the comments that he makes, right? He's just digging his own fucking grave, like, legitimately. Oh, hold up real quick again, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. Like, I had to answer an email, and then, the fucking ambulance, which is still there. You know what I mean? But also, like, I see cameras in front of the Supreme Court and shit. But, so, back to Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer's, he made some comments about Mike Santana, right? And his decision, not very comments, but in terms of, Mike Santana's momentum, right? Going into Slammiversary last year. That Slammiversary honestly was, that honestly was the Slammiversary that, to me, helped him. It helped him, get that AMC deal, right? But his creative decisions, especially for the main event, was just, like, a lot of people were pissed, right? Because, when it came down to, Mike Santana, right? Mike Santana had the home crowd behind him. Like, he was red hot. Not even red, he was white fucking hot. Going into this pay-per-view. He was beyond white fucking hot, right? And so when it comes down to certain decisions and pulling the trigger on certain moves, right? You would have thought that, he would have had that, that Tommy Dreamer would have pulled the trigger to make Mike Santana the TNA champion at that Slammiversary, which was right there. It was right here in the city, right? In Long Island, right? But that wasn't the fucking case. And when he said the reason why, right? Now you start to understand why, Dreamer is not in the position that he's in, right? So apparently the reason why Tommy Dreamer decided to not book Mike Santana to win the TNA World Heavyweight Championship in Long Island, right, at Slammiversary last year, was because, to him, right, to Tommy Dreamer, right, he said that more people pay to see him, win it at Bound for Glory last year, right? He said, apparently he said more people chose to see him win it at Bound for Glory last year, right, rather than Slammiversary. Slammiversary was a sold out show, okay? It was a sold out show. Like, it was basically one of the biggest talks of the town. Fuck, AJ Styles came back. Now, I mean, AJ fucking Styles came back for that show. right? Where he had that, where he had that little mini interaction with Leon Slater, right? Remember that little mini interaction? And the pop that AJ got, right? Now, Slammiversary did 7,700 people, right? Bound for Glory did 5,500 people. So you mean to tell me that you decided to hold off on crowning Mike Santana, the TNA World Champion, until a few months later? You know what I'm saying? And then, like, you didn't even give him no title defenses, nothing. You gave 32 fucking days with no title defenses, right? Only to have him fucking lose the title to Frankie Kazarian. Now, I fucks with Frankie Kazarian. I think Frankie Kazarian is good, right? But to do that, right, you basically shot all of Mike Santana's momentum. It's shot. It's fucking shot. You know what I'm saying? And then here's the kicker. Here's the fucking kicker. There's a rumor, right? There was a rumor going around that this motherfucker was gonna make Ash by Elegance the top, the top female in TNA, going into next year. Man. And now I see why Tommy Dreamer's out of a fucking job. I now see why. He's a shit booker. Tommy Dreamer sucks at booking. He's a shit creative. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you got something that is white fucking hot, why not take advantage of it? Right? Why not fucking take advantage of it? It would have been a great feel-good moment for Mike Santana to become TNA champion in New York City, right? In New York, technically it's Long Island. You know what I mean? So, it's in the outskirts of New York. You know what I mean? Like Nassau County. No, then again, like if you look at the fucking map. Oh, let me drink some water. Hold on. If you look at the fucking map, right? Long Island, right? It actually breaks into 4 different counties. You got Kings County, which is Brooklyn, Queens County, Nassau County, and Suffolk, But you guys get what I'm saying, right? He could have made a decision right then and there, and bam, he didn't do it. He didn't fucking do it. The momentum was already shot. Mike Santana had his family and stuff there. You know what I mean? And that place would have been fucking insane. And you decided to say, fuck it. Let's not make Mike Santana TNA champion at Slammiversary. Right? And again, this is why Tommy Dreamer is in the situations that he's in now, right? On top of the accusations that's happening. So what I'm thinking is there's a lot more. What the fuck dude looking at, man? There's a lot more. Yeah, some dude like looking back here. What the fuck, bro? Like there's a lot more to, Tommy Dreamer's exit that was outside of the accusations and stuff. I mean, mostly it's because of the accusations, but it might have also been because of his creative. He's not great creatively. He's not. Because he's definitely the type of person who, when, he don't know when to strike when the iron is hot. Right? And that cost him his job. They got rid of him 9 months later after that. 9 fucking months. And this is why, like, you shouldn't let certain people, become booker and stuff, because, in their mind they felt like, okay, well, they could get a bigger payoff and stuff. No, that was Mike Santana's big. That was his, his magnus opus when it came down to, being white hot and winning a fucking championship. They had it right there and they fucked it up. Right there, bro. Right fucking there. But like I said, there's also accusations with Mike Santana that is now out in the open, right? And luckily, the speaking out movement is kind of like dead. That it's not really dead. It's really not. But the hurricane behind it is basically it's wind down. Anyway, guys, I'm about to be out. I don't know if I'm gonna make another video. We shall see. And I don't know if I'm gonna be working tomorrow because I might have to take care of something, but we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna holler at y'all. I might holler at y'all tonight. All right? Peace.